Oh, you're in for a real treat.
If we can dream it, then we can do it. Yes, we can, yes, we can.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, 'cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
It's the DizPod, where dreams come true. With Corey and Lawrence, we'll explore with you. Feel the magic.
Gets his stuff and gets ready to leave.
The
And I was
joy
like,
and the cheer.
"You're leaving?"
Together we'll make memories.
and he
year
said that's
after
when he
year.
was like, okay.
Yeah. So
But, so why'd you pull over then?
I was probably more scared than anything. Pull over.
that's why they chose the music they chose, and that's why that they laid this life out, you know, from birth to death in this show. It's actually much more to it than I think a lot of people realize until we really start to see it more.
I'm going to skip out because I do have to do my football show where I will be picking the Patriots to lose this week. By the way, go Raven, out!
I'll talk to him later. Pete is great. Love Pete.
In the house, sometimes we would have 30.
You had the house to hang out at. Then.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Stevens.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
I just said, let's go live on YouTube. People might like to see that. Believe it or not, that first night we got 1,000 people watching. I don't.
The DizPod, presented by Living in Diz and Park Bros, is proud to be a member of the Disney Streamer Network. Your magic, your way.
Hello and welcome to the DizPod as we march our way to 150 episodes coming soon to a DizPod near you on this June 16th, 2026. Listen, it is coming close again to a trip that you have coming up. What is your plan for this trip here? I think it's going to be a little daddy-daughter action. How did this start? Why is it just you two? Enlighten me on this. And you're going to be there for a few days.
A few days, yeah. So Nick was visiting for Memorial Day, my brother, not our guest tonight. But my brother Nick was visiting for a few days, and he mentioned that he was going to Disney World for his birthday, which is Monday. And he's an annual pass holder, but his pass expires July 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there. And he's not renewing because he's going to be doing other things next year. So he wants to make this a, final trip for him to the parks for a little bit. And so he's like, hey, if you guys want to go. And I looked at Catherine. She was like, I can't. We're in the middle of big testing for work. And she was like, but you could go and you could take Finley. And I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And then I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, I could do that. It's a couple days, and so it just kept rolling from there. And then at one point, Catherine's like, wouldn't that be Father's Day weekend? I'm like, that would be Father's Day weekend. So we're going for a daddy-daughter weekend, which actually we're leaving Friday night. And then we'll be in the park Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then we fly home Wednesday afternoon. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be special memories. Neither of you will forget this.
Yes,
for the rest of your lives. So
that's for sure. That's for sure. But we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna the good thing is she's a park pro. She'll navigate some stuff. There isn't a festival, which she loves doing the festival scavenger hunts. There isn't one, so we are going to do the DuckTales World Showcase challenge.
Ooh, fun!
So she'll have a lot of fun with that. She's never done it before. I've never done it before. We've only seen it when you did it. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. So, and then Nick and Christina will be there for a couple days for his birthday. So we won't be.
Do we get Nick? Nick on Saturdays?
No, he's not coming in until Monday.
Oh,
yeah.
When's he leaving?
I don't know. You might get him Wednesday. I'll
I'd like
see.
to get them on Wednesdays.
I'll see. Hopefully you get them on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so we will not have a podcast next Tuesday because I will be in the parks. But I will be live for some part of that, so you'll at least get that.
There you go. That works. And I'll have we'll have an announcement. I'll talk to you later on. I took my annual time off that I have to use, so it will involve some Tuesdays in July. So
All
it could
right.
be thin for the DizPod in July. And also a little bit in August, right? Because that cruise is coming fast and
That
furious.
cruise is coming up. Yep. Oh, speaking of July, towards the end of the show, I have an announcement. So stay tuned.
Excellent. I'll say one more thing before this. We welcome you all in as our virtual studio audience. We do this live because we do it for you and you only. And we also appreciate all the others that join us later on as the podcast drops on all those other popular outlets like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. So we all appreciate all of you as well. One last thing before we bring in our guest. The day after we recorded last week about all the Disney snacks that you can get this summer, what did they do? They dropped 250 Celebrates America snacks.
Yep.
I was like, no.
And I thought, we had a ton of information today, so I was loading it up on last show, and then of course the next day they just dropped that on us. So, we'll maybe I'll talk about that. Well, when we do our recap show in July from 4th of July, we'll talk all about the snacks. There was some news today out of Disney Springs. So we're going to talk to our guest about that and see. We'll get their thoughts on that. And let me say this: I was scrolling Instagram like I do. Before I was part of the DSN, I didn't do this a lot, but I scroll TikTok and Instagram, looking for other creators, looking for other news, and so I found the Diz List podcast, which of course, being the DizPod, the Diz List sounded like very intriguing, and so I started watching some of their reels, and I was like, oh, these guys kind of line up with how Corey and I are. So I reached out to Rob, and they agreed to come on the show. So tonight we have Nick and Rob from the Diz List. Corey, you ready to bring them in?
Let's bring him in from one Diz to another.
All right. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
an honor.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming in. Who wants to introduce your show? Tell us a little bit about it.
I would say Nick has some great stories to lead us off. An embarrassing one into a sweet one.
Okay.
So go for it, Nick.
Yeah. So, long time ago, I told Rob that I was going to Disney for my one and only trip. And Rob said, no, you're not.
Nope.
So I begged to differ with him. I argued with him. No, I'm going to Disney once. That's what I'm doing. We're doing it big. And I will say that if you ever do it big, it will definitely not be your only trip because you realize how amazing it is. Fast forward to 20. So that was in 2019. Fast forward to 2020, COVID hits.
Yeah.
DVC prices drop, and I went from I'm going once to a DVC owner in a matter of a year. Then Rob and I we used to come over during COVID and like get together, like that whole social distancing around a campfire thing outside. So it was the only way to get to see people. And every week we would trade off whose house we were doing it at, and we would joke about starting a podcast. And one night there may have been a few too many drinks that were flowing, and Rob definitely was like, hey, I record a lot of music because he's a musician. He's like, I've got the equipment. Let's do this. Our wives went inside. By the time they came out, we had the podcast name, the topics, like what we like, the whole shtick, like that we were going to be a listing because we're not locals, so we can do news, but it's secondhand. We can't do live streaming at the parks, but what we can do is tell people like our top 5 of this or our top 5 of that. And our wives thought we were crazy. First one aired on July 6th of 2022, and we're 205 episodes in and 150 some odd Patreon episodes in, and still loving it.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Lawrence always tells me, what do you tell me about how many podcasts do people usually do before they quit?
There was a statistic that I saw very early on in this show that was like 21 episodes is about where 90% of podcasts quit after 21 episodes. So I'm like, here we are. We're closing in on 100 and 150.
Which
Corey
is
did 16 before
16
we went
alone,
to
solo.
video, and that was audio only, pre-recorded. And then when we started ours, there were four hosts, and then after 2 episodes, it went to just Corey and I. And then maybe 8 episodes in, we went live, and really haven't looked back. It's just been, where we feel the most comfortable. But so let me ask you this, right? Because Corey and I, Corey live streams from the parks. I get there about every 8 weeks or so. So that gives us a little bit more, juice to squeeze from. How do you come up with your list? I mean, you're talking about 300 episodes between the 2 platforms. Where are you coming up with your list, your ideas?
Well, that's a couple different places, honestly. Sometimes we get different ideas from our patrons or just regular listeners. A lot of times, Nick and I will be talking. We work together. We're both teachers. So he'll come over during an off period and we'll sit and talk. And most of the time I'll pause and just look at him and go, we should just be recording this. And so he'll come over and say, you got any ideas this week? And just this past week, I came up with a list of a couple different things. And one of them was rides you would not wait in line more than 30 minutes for. We've gotten, because we've kind of gotten to the point where you're 200 episodes in. We've done a couple multiple times because the park changes so frequently.
Okay.
But we also have to get creative because we have a lot of people who've been with us from the beginning, and we're not just going to repeat all the time. But again, that's something we like to do. My favorite park is Magic Kingdom. So for me, it's like, I would always love to go back and talk about that park over and over. And Nick, I'm sure you feel the same way. Nick likes Epcot. So you want to jump in on that at all, Nick?
I would just say another place we get it is honestly our family. Like sometimes I'll be sitting around having a conversation with my kids or my wife and be like, this would make a good list. Like we're going to do this week. And like I said, we can't do the kind of content that other people necessarily do. Like we're good friends with Ear Scouts, and like we can't do what Ear Scouts does. We can't do those kinds of tip shows because we're not there trying out the strategies. But what we can do is talk about like our top 5 rides, or like the one this week, like don't wait 30 minutes or more for this ride because it's just not. And a lot of times like our opinions are different too. So it's kind of fun to go back and forth and kind of bicker with each other.
Yeah. We've had some episodes, how to do Disney in the rain, what was the other one? Oh,
I know what you're going to say.
Sometimes you've got to come up with some oddball ones, right? And sometimes those are the most fun. We did one, could you do Magic Kingdom without leaving Main Street? Could you do a full day at Magic Kingdom without leaving Main Street? And so we talked about everything that you would do during a full day. I think it was Main Street in the hub. But, you can stretch it sometimes. Yeah, you figure it out.
Crack the code.
Yeah, so I mean, with that many episodes, are there any that stick out for you as some of your favorite list or favorite episodes?
You want to talk about the 200th one, Nick?
Lawrence, do you have the link to their channel to put in intermittently?
I will. Yes. Do you prefer what podcast platform do you prefer?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, doesn't matter to me which one.
Okay.
I'm happy that people will come and listen. our 200th was probably one that I think was a really favorite for mine. You know, that's some recency bias, obviously, because it was only a little bit over a month ago. But we did a Q&A, and it was a massive Q&A for this is a Patreon one that dropped on our Patreon, but is a
free.
It's not. It's a free one for our for anybody who's a member. You don't have to pay for access to this episode. We do that usually once every 6 weeks. We'll drop a Patreon member exclusive, but not a paid access one.
Okay.
So all you got to be doing is following us. And this one was people, all the members sent us like questions that were, some were about Disney, some were just about us. They were really cool questions and they made us think. And I think that was one that stuck out to me. Also bucket list episode. We just did a recap. We did a recap of a bucket list episode, and I thought it was really appropriate because, you know, in our 7th episode, we were able to have Rob from Ear Scouts on. And I think that was when we realized how welcoming this community is of Disney creators. You know, Rob was blowing up with his Genie Plus stuff at the time. And so he was getting to be a big deal, not quite as big as he is now, but he was certainly getting to be a big deal. And, you know, we were really excited to have him on. And we did a bucket list thing. And so to revisit that one, that was fun because we've evolved. Our bucket list has changed because we've accomplished some of the things on our bucket list. So I'd say those are two for me. Rob, how about you?
The one I thought of right away too was the 200th, where we did all the Q&A. And one I remember really clearly, and I couldn't believe how this happened, was people are asking us just kind of these fun questions. You know, people who listen to our podcast will kind of come up with ideas because of the crazy things that we do for our lists. And this one person asked, they said, you know, what Disney resort would you flatten and put a park in its place? So we kind of knew the questions in advance. So we had these ideas, and mine was going to be Pop Century. So I start talking about Pop Century, and I said, okay, we're going to flatten Pop Century. They have the Skyliner there. It'd be perfect because it would connect over to Art of Animation. So we posted this clip online, and like it ignited like social media. People were so mad at me, and like Nick and I had to be like, relax, like this is just a question. We're not trying to like demolish, like there's some people out there. And I think what we've learned in general from this community is, us included, are so passionate about certain things in Disney. Like their favorite resort is Art of Animation or Pop Century, and how dare you knock it down? Whereas like our whole show is fun, creativity, fantasy. You know, it's similar to what you do. And I've listened to a few of your shows as well. I wrote it down. You do Love, Like, and Leave. You do that. And I thought that was cool. We do a similar thing. We play a game called Favorite, Fix, or Flatten.
Okay.
And so the way we do it is we have a wheel. So I said we're both teachers, so we do this all the time. Put all the students' names on a wheel, spin the wheel. Whoever's name comes up, it's their turn to answer the question or whatever you're doing. So we put, let's say, for example, it's I'm trying to think of one we did recently.
Quick service restaurants.
Quick service at resorts, right? So we spin the wheel. We spin the wheel 3 times, so we do it totally random. We're not prepared at all. So like you said earlier, we like things to be organic. We go with the flow. That's part of the fun. It's part of the excitement for us. It keeps it fresh. So we get 3 different places that come up on a sheet of paper. We have to decide on the fly which is our favorite, okay? We just say, this one's my favorite. We're going to keep it. This one we're going to fix, and then we have to say how. So like if it's Captain Cook's, okay, Captain Cook's is great. Let's theme it Pirates of the Caribbean, okay? Not really, but I'm just coming up with something quick.
Yeah.
And then flatten means, nope, we don't like that one. But
totally getting rid of it.
Sometimes we get 3 things that are all incredible. Like 3 rides in Hollywood Studios. Nick, tell them about that one that we just did.
Yeah, we just did one that was Rock and Roller Coaster, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Rise of the Resistance. It's like,
holy cow!
How do you flatten one of those?
Yeah.
Hold on, we're gonna stick with this now.
Right, it's fun.
Man, of those 3, I guess I'd have to flatten I
Nick
thought I
and
had
were
it.
not the same. By the way, Nick and I were not the same. We had
Not the
different ones.
same.
Oh, we were the same for Flatten.
Corey,
true,
I hope
but-
you're thinking.
Oh, you know, I
While
can never,
you're-
you know, I can never answer a Disney question straight.
No.
There's always a story with it.
Yeah.
I have to talk it through.
So wait,
Now
was this before or after the retheming of
This is after.
Rockin'?
This was after.
This is
correct.
after.
Right? Yeah, because we
Yeah.
talked about Muppets. Yep.
Okay.
Folks in chat,
a whole
please
other
make sure put I want to see your answers as well.
Yeah.
What would you wait, what is it? It's flatten and fix. What's the
Yeah.
other?
It's triple
Favorite.
F.
Yeah.
Favorite, fix, flatten.
Favorite, fix, and flatten. So I want to
When you
know
say
what your answers
when
are.
you say fix, is there something that needs to be fixed? Is that
Or just how
anything.
we would change it to make it better.
Change it. Any change. Retheme, change
Oh,
menu, whatever. The track
Okay.
might be different. You name it. So then that's kind of where it's up in the air. So I'm going to demonstrate what I do on the show right now. Because when we do this, I will spin the wheel, and he's laughing because what I do is I'm very good at this because I'm a teacher and I can kill time. So I will talk and I will just kind of say things and I will go on and on. Now, don't forget, everybody, if the rules of favorite, fix, or flatten, we have 3 different things. We spin the wheel. It's random. See how I'm doing that right now? This is giving you both the opportunity in your heads to tune me out and think, okay, what is my flatten going to be? Okay, which one am I going to do? So then by the time I am done sort of, running my mouth, I turn it back over to Nick and then he's ready to go. And while Nick is doing his, I have time to percolate in my mind
That's
a little
right.
bit. So that's our trick. So don't
I like
tell
I
that.
me.
can tell you what we did if you want to know. There's a little
So
sneak peek.
I think mine is going to be Rise is my favorite. Fix Rock and Roller Coaster and flatten Runaway Railway.
So you match with Rob.
Yep.
That's because we're both on this side.
Yeah. And then what about you, Corey? What do you think?
Crockett, thank you so much for sending those gold coin jewels. We appreciate that. Tap that reaction button for Crockett, everybody. So I think it's going to be like this, and everybody knows how much I love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm.
It's no question for number 1. Rise, you got to, what is it? You got to keep it. So that's
Favorite.
That's the favorite.
Favorite, fix, flat.
I will put Rock and Roller Coaster as a fix. Love the Muppets. I've got a new addition to the microphone here.
Hi ho.
The Muppets have my heart. They've always had my heart since I was a little kid. And I'm enjoying it even more through the eyes of my son, who's just so passionate about this new iteration of Rock and Roller Coaster. So I would fix. Do we have to say what we would fix, or just say we would fix?
Yep.
It?
I can give you an example if you want.
Okay, there's one for me that there's not much to fix in my opinion, but there is one thing that I thought that could have been done better in some way. And to see Statler and is it Waldorf? Is that his name?
Yes.
To
Correct.
see them better, because when you stop at the end of the ride, they're off to the corner. So even if you're in the front row, if front and second maybe can see them completely, after that you can't see them. So I think that's a wasted thing on that attraction that would make it so much better if they had them more visible. So maybe I don't know, ride construction wise, if they could roll you up a little bit closer, stop there, have them do their spiel, and then you offload. So that's what I would do to fix that. And I would flatten Mickey and Minnie's just because Rise is it. Rise is the greatest attraction in the world. Just for what it's done, the experience, all of that. I don't even like to call it a ride or an attraction. It's an experience. So that's what I would do.
Okay.
What about you, Nick?
Fun fact. Well, I actually was close to you guys. We all flattened the same ride, begrudgingly, because I love that ride.
Same.
But I fixed Rise because I want the turrets to fully work.
Okay.
And I am always the short straw. I always draw the short straw and get B mode Kylo Ren. So I want that fixed as well. And then I said another thing that you could do to make it even more re-rideable is that since it's a trackless system, when you separate, not have every time where you've separated and gone into different spots, don't make it the same for everybody. Make it a little bit different. It doesn't have to be a ton different. The story doesn't change, but you're literally looking at different viewpoints of the same story. I think that would kind of put it over the top. Fun fact, don't want to get too far off the rails here, but in November, so it was November of 2022, I made a comment on our episode. I said, because we did a thing, rides that need TLC and how we would retheme them. And I rethemed Rock and Roller Coaster to the Muppets in November of 2022. It was wild. People were like, this is amazing. And I kind of forgot about it until they announced that they were doing it to Muppets. I was like, oh my God. And that same one,
listen to us.
Yeah, in that same episode, I also casually said they need to replace the animatronics in Country Bears. Maybe some of the songs too, but like that definitely needs to change. And all of a sudden, it's like, what the?
It's true. There's a timestamp if you don't believe.
There you go. It's documented. They can't argue that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny because I remember when the rumors about Muppets started coming out, not the most recent one, but a couple, I guess that was 2 years ago now. I'm like, you guys are crazy. They're not putting the Muppets with that. Would I love that? Yes, I'm absolute Muppet. You can't see it up there, but I have plenty of Muppet stuff. So I would love that. That's not going to happen. You can't fit the Muppets into that. Well, boy, was I wrong. Because it works well.
It does. It's nice when you can make a claim and then you see it come through with Disney. It feels good. I have quite a list of things I've mentioned in the parks, on the podcast, and then they happen. It's like, oh, did you listen to me?
They definitely did.
Yeah, of course. We got to take credit. We all have to take credit. Yes. Not that we just had smart ideas, that they also have brilliant ideas of.
Of course.
So, Nick and Rob, you were friends before the podcast?
Yep.
And
we're both teachers.
Okay.
We both teach in the same school. We're both big sports fans. So we kind of bonded early on over two things. One was Star Wars. When those newer Star Wars movies were coming out, we would just chat about it, and the TV shows, we would discuss all of that. And we love talking sports all the time. Nick's a big baseball guy. I'm not, but we both share love of the Buffalo Bills because we live in Western New York. Over my shoulder right here, this is my little Bills football. So we love the Buffalo Bills. We both love hockey. Nick, I'll give Nick a little shout out. He is a girls soccer coach and has a state ranked soccer team. He's won coach of the year multiple times. He won't say this, so I'm going to toot his horn a little bit. He's an amazing coach. So that's a little bit of Nick's background. So we teach together. Our families are friends, and yeah.
And so, Rob, you were the lifelong Disney fan?
Yes. Yeah.
Nick, was that your influence on going, or was it a family trip, or what got you to go the first time?
So
or
it was a little
what
bit
you
of both.
thought was going to be your only time?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both, right? My kids were getting to an age where I thought this was like a sweet spot for like the magic is still real to them. My son was turning 7. My daughter was turning 4, and it was like they're still gonna believe all the magic, right? That's the Mickey, that is the Cinderella, that is, like I thought that was the sweet spot. And I'd talked to Rob if he thought that it was a time to go, and he kind of said, oh, absolutely. And we went all in, did a 10-day trip, and I realized that like all my fears about, because I'm not a travel guy. Because I don't like feeling uncomfortable or like anxious about like where to go. But at Disney, you feel safe. You feel like where things are. You're not going to get lost. It's super easy to navigate. And the more you go, the more you realize that it's not a one trip thing, because there's so much to do. We still do something new every single trip. 2 or 3 things new that we've never done before. We're doing Caring for the Giants this time.
Nice.
So that first time, Rob had kind of convinced me, it's not going to be your only time, but if you want to believe that for now, go ahead. But he gave me plenty of tips because he's been since the late 70s. So
yeah, I think 1979 was my first.
Wow. And so you're DVC now?
Mm-hmm.
What's your home resort?
My home is Poly. So we own at the Polynesian. We bought in a decent sized contract initially. And then when the rumors came out of the tower, I immediately went and bought another small contract, an add-on, because I thought I knew, and luckily I was right, but I thought I knew that, you know, we're going to get 1 bedrooms, because that was what Polly was, you know, you had the bungalows and you had the studios. So I kind of wanted to make sure I had enough. So I estimated it by looking at what does it cost for a 1 bedroom at the Riv? What does it cost for a 1 bedroom at the Grand, you know, as far as points go. And I bought an add-on that would put me to that number of points. And it turns out I got lucky. They kept it the same association. There's no restrictions, so I can use my points there.
Nice. And so how often do both of you go to the parks?
I go once or twice a year, sometimes California, but most of the time I'll go down. We've been going about twice a year, a little bit more recently. And Nick in a minute will tell you why he did not go last year. He went somewhere else even better, but I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah.
I have family who live in Orlando, so that's why I'm a lifelong Disney fan. I'm pretty close to being 50 years old, and I've been going, you know, the majority of my life. My father's cousin was one of the people who worked on the animatronics and fixed the animatronics at the Hall of Presidents. So growing up in the 1980s, he would always have free tickets for us. So we would fly down and visit family. He would, Uncle Jimmy would say, "Hey, you guys want to go to Disney?" And at that time, you know, paper tickets. Here you go, guys. And so we would go every year. So that's why I've kind of been this lifelong Disney guy. I've experienced most of it. I had a kind of a big gap, late 90s, early 2000s, when I was in college and first meeting my wife before we had kids. And we'd go occasionally, but, you know, it was consistent all the way through probably 1996. And then from about maybe 2008 all the way on every year.
Wow. All right. Where did you go last year, Nick?
So
this is the big one.
Yeah. As a promise to my wife, when she said, "Sure, we can get DVC." Actually, it was more so when I said, "Hey, I'm adding on." It was like, I said, "But guess what this will give us? This will give us enough points to get a really nice room in Hawaii." So we went to Aulani, and we were actually there during the tsunami that happened last year, the big tsunami warning and all that.
Oh my God,
scared
me to
terrifying.
death.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Tell that
luckily, that's too long.
Tell that.
Like,
oh, okay. Either way, scared the crap out of me. He goes off to
we want that story.
We're seeing all over the TV. We're seeing all over the TV tsunami warning. And I'm losing my mind. Oh my God, Nick is there right now.
Yeah.
So luckily, I got in touch with him, and it made me feel better at least.
They evacuated every floor below ours. We were on the last floor that didn't need to get evacuated. It was very surreal. But that was on our first day there, first full day there. It was my daughter's first time in the ocean, and the sirens start going off. So it was just like a huge "Hey, welcome to Hawaii." But we had a great time. And so last year we actually didn't make it to the parks because we prioritized that. We typically make it just once a year with a big trip. I think now with our kids, it's really difficult for me to pull them from school because they're also playing sports. And plus I can't, because as a teacher, I can't leave. But with the sports stuff, even when we're on breaks, you know, baseball's running during the spring break, and in the fall, you've got soccer. So it's really tough for us to go any other time than the summer. Next February, we're toying with going. So then we could possibly get, a couple in next year. And we're also looking at the advantages of getting an annual pass and doing a late July one year, early July the following year. You get 2 big trips on one annual pass, and you still get the benefits of the annual pass. And so that's how often we go.
So you're both teachers, and something that I say a lot on the news show that I do, on the podcast, people will ask, when's the best time to go? And I always say, when you can get there, right? Because if you're waiting for the best time to go, that may not line up with when you can go. So you're both teachers, which means your only times off are spring break and summer breaks when everybody else can get off. How do you deal with that, going around those times when parks aren't, like today it was like great. There were like 20-minute waits on everything. That's not going to happen when you guys go. So how do you deal with the crowds there?
So I would say a couple things. One, this summer is the new slow season, in my opinion. People are avoiding the heat a little bit more. Right now we just talked about this on our Patreon this week. I can get a Topolino's breakfast reservation for my trip. I'm less than 4 weeks out, and I can get a Topolino's breakfast reservation. It's slow this summer. Disney talking about today dropping that whole 2-ticket, 2-day, or 2-ticket, 2-park ticket thing they're doing. That's not, people don't put on sale things that are selling well, is what I'll say.
Thank you.
So it's slow, and so I can deal with the fact that it's hot. If it were hot and busy, then I'd have a little bit of a problem. I can deal with one of the two of them. So I think that, and also preparation, whether it's, knowing that app inside and out, knowing lightning lane stuff inside and out can help you. So that way, in a situation where you have to go when it's busy, you can do more. And I think Rob would agree to this. This last one I would say is temper like your expectations. You are not getting everything done when you have to go when it's busy. If you're going on a vacation during the holiday break or during the spring break, don't expect that you're going to get all of your must-do rides done. And if you want that, you need to then camp out and make a plan for your must-dos and plan on doing nothing else.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. I mean, that's a lot of what we talk about, especially when Corey's in the park is, take what the park gives you, and try and work that park like a pro. Like, you want to go do Mine Train? 3:00 in the afternoon is not the time to go do Mine Train because everybody else is doing it. So either rope drop, wait till fireworks, wait till the first starlight, and all of a sudden, I have walked on to Rise, right? Because I will go to the second showing of Fantasmic, and during that first show, everybody's there. So guess where Lawrence is? I'm over at Rise walking onto it. 10 minutes. Actually, it's only 10 minutes because it takes you so long to walk through that queue. Like the longest freaking queue. Yes. So yeah, you gotta learn how to work the parks correctly. Corey, just watch Corey. He does a great job of it.
Thank you. Yeah, we take great pride in that, but we've just, and that's part of why I wanted to start the channel, is because I started to learn these parks 10 years ago. The strategies, and I always think of like Pirates of the Caribbean. If that's a decent wait all day long, that's when you tuck away for later. Oh, after fireworks, that'll be a walk on, things like that. So it's just knowing, and the park. You see the park behave differently when new things are added, like the strategy. Some of the strategies that worked before Starlight no longer work, and then you have to kind of learn it. And now Buzz Lightyear has been reintroduced. That's another dynamic. Like, people used to rush to, after Happily Ever After, people used to rush to Haunted Mansion. That was the thing. Let me see if I can beat everyone else, or as many people as I can, from Main Street. Now it seems like everyone is going to Buzz. Buzz drops to like 20 minutes at the start of Happily Ever After, and it rushes right back up about 10 minutes after Happily Ever After. So,
Really?
Yeah. So our current strategy is, on a Saturday, I'm on Main Street showing the fireworks, and my son will be in Tomorrowland just kind of hanging around Buzz, and my wife will watch some of Happily Ever After, and then she'll head to Buzz, and they'll jump in line. And as soon as this last firework pops, I go down Main Street backwards, go around the back end, come through there, and I'll meet them, and I jump in, and we may have like a 15-minute wait, 20-minute wait. So It works. It works for us. But, it's working all the strategies and all that, and knowing the parks. So, yeah.
So I was just looking at some of these questions. So, and I started thinking about how Rob wants to tear down Pop Century. People were out there thinking he had a sledgehammer in his car or something.
Hold on. Just answering a question. I don't want to tear it down. I'd love to stay there.
Hey, what's one of my probably controversial things, which I know Walt loved this and the whole idea about it, but I would sign off in a second to slap cement down in the lagoon so we can park much closer to Magic Kingdom. It's planes, trains, and automobiles. It's a whole nother vacation just to get from the ticket and transportation center to Magic Kingdom.
You're not wrong.
I'm fine with that.
All right, so we're going to segue now since Corey brought that up. Let's talk about the news today of Disney Springs transportation. So this was rumored yesterday to come that it was coming, and anybody that knows me and knows how I deal with the news, I said let's wait until we hear officially what's going to happen, because we all know the telephone game, right? You guys are teachers. I can only imagine how that works in school, right? So, it starts with one thing, which has a lot of truth to it, and then by the time it finishes, you're charging, $50 to get on a bus, and that's not anywhere near what happened. So essentially, what's happening is starting June 28th, if you're at Disney Springs and you want to get on a bus or a boat, you're going to have to show your Magic Band or ticket or whatever that says you're staying at a Disney resort.
Yep.
The whole reason, I think there are two reasons to this, is because you had a lot of people using Disney Springs to skirt around the parking fee. Because of that, you have overcrowding at Disney Springs. And so the merchants that are there paying a lot of rent feel, uneasy because they can't get the turnover. If you worked in a restaurant, you know about turning over those tables. You can't get that turnover because the parking decks are so full. So I just want to ask our guests, and Corey, what do you think about this recent change or this upcoming change?
You can let our guests go first if you'd like.
I'll go first just because I sort of took advantage of this at Christmas time here. When we went down our most recent trip with Christmas, obviously, and we got an Airbnb because we had whole side of my family went down and we all wanted to stay in one big house and we were going to visit family. Long story. Regardless, we weren't staying at the park, but I wanted to go and visit a couple resorts, and one of those was Wilderness Lodge. And I wanted to go and visit and see what the tree looked like at Christmas time. So we went to Disney Springs, truthfully walked around, shopped a little bit, spent some money there. Then we got on a bus and we took a bus over. No one checked my ID. Nobody asked if I was staying anywhere. Just got on the bus, went over there, and I spent money. And I went and I got a meal. And see, this is what I'm getting at here is I went there and I spent some money, right? Got back on the bus, went right back over to Disney Springs, and we went back to our Airbnb. Do I have a problem with them doing this? I can't really say whether it's right or wrong. I think it's going to deter people, but then there's the people like me who want to go and enjoy the resort. And part of that too is I wanted to check out that resort as a prospective person who's going to book a hotel room there. I wanted to see it in person. Sure, I wanted to taste the food. I wanted to see what the decorations look like. But as Nick knows, that's one of my favorites, and that was kind of on my list, top of my list of a place I wanted to stay. So we went and checked it out. We said, yep, that's definitely a place we want to stay. So I'm kind of looking at that situation that I did. Am I using the system a little bit? Sure, but there was no rule against it. Now there's going to be a rule against it. So I would not be able to do that anymore. Am I mad? No. Like, I was just kind of, we know the parks well enough to know little tricks like that. Like, maybe you're at Disney Springs and you walk all the way over to Saratoga and you hop on a bus there, and that takes you somewhere too, like that's another like little loophole of something that you could do. So
yeah,
I know I sort of talked in a circle there, but what I'm trying to do is just share this other side of the story to Disney, who I'm sure is listening, to let them know, hey, what I did is I had the sampler platter, and you know what? I sampled it and I love it. And you got some of my money. Now you're going to get more of my money. So I'm done. There's my rant.
The problem is we can't have nice things, right? I love that that phrase. I just learned that a little while ago, and I try to use it now whenever I can. And we can't have nice things because other people ruin it, right?
Yeah.
Your perspective is totally fine. You're
Yeah.
not trying to get out of, oh, I don't have to pay $35 or whatever it is for parking to go to Hollywood
Nope.
Studios. You're just trying to visit a resort. And the problem is, you wonder why did Disney start this? Why the restriction of access to the resorts? I think it all started back in 2020, COVID. So prior to COVID, again, like Lawrence said, I'm on property a couple times a week, and we could go to any resort anytime we wanted, no questions asked. Whether you drove in, took the bus, walked over, no problem. After that, it became stricter where you needed a dining reservation to get in. And it's still like that today, pretty much. I did drive in, I think, to one resort because we just wanted to look around and see the Christmas tree. And luckily that cast member was fine with it, but others won't be.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, does Disney stick with this more because it's just getting so overcrowded at Disney and they just want to limit the amount of extra people around the resorts, or why? But going back to the bus thing, it's just because you've had too many people trying to skirt the system, avoid the parking fees at the parks and do that. What you're doing, there's totally nothing wrong with that. And that's a shame that you just can't. That was part of some of the attraction to Disney World, right? You could just spend a day going to different resorts now. If I have an idea for a vlog or something, I need to do scientific equations to try to figure out what are the options here? How can I get over to Port Orleans without any problem? Because I want to get over there and I want to do this particular experience. It's always a mystery, and you cross your fingers.
Yeah.
So,
Nick, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, if I could copy paste the Corey's answer, that's pretty much it. I say this to Rob all the time about, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. A lot of times Disney makes these policies or does these certain things, and I'm like, look, Rob, we are not the audience. This isn't for us. So Cool Kid Summer.
You said that to me last episode.
yeah, cool. It was because Cool Kid Summer. I was like, Cool Kid Summer is not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Bluey at Animal Kingdom is not for us.
Yes,
But
I was complaining about Cool Kid Summer, and Nick had to set me straight, and he was right. So continue.
But my point is that this is not for the person that Rob is. This is for the person who, exactly what Corey said, I don't want to pay parking. I don't want to pay for parking. And so I'm going to go to Disney Springs. I'm not spending a dime at Disney Springs. I'm walking downstairs. I'm getting on a bus. I'm going to take that bus to the to Bay Lake Tower or to the Contemporary, and I'm going to walk into Magic Kingdom or whatever. I'm going to take it to a Skyliner resort, and I'm going to get on the Skyliner and go to Hollywood Studios. That's who this is targeted at. And it's because, like was said, you can't have nice things. It's exactly that. It's a few bad eggs ruin the whole dozen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where we're at. It's unfortunate. I understand it. If you're that desperate to get free parking, I don't know what to tell you. Seems like a very difficult way to get free park. I mean, by the time you get on that bus, first of all, you have to ride a Disney bus, which is like my idea of somewhere between hell and purgatory. I'm not really sure. I hate Disney buses. It's free, but man, I will pretty much do anything to avoid a Disney bus. If that's your idea of to me, it's worth the money just to spend it so I don't have to ride that bus. But that's
what I was going to say. Nick's so good with numbers, he teaches math. So sometimes I'll throw this at him. Okay, it costs, what is it, $30 to park now? I can't, it's always changes.
I think it's 35.
35. So it's $35 to park. You look at the time that you're missing at whatever park you're going to by sitting on the bus, which could take up to an hour and a half. I mean, at most, depending on where you're coming from.
Yep.
Do the math to figure out that $35 versus whatever X is, which is your whole day at the park. I don't know if that's a benefit. I don't know. Nick, you're the math guy.
It's not. I mean, it's a negative. It's a net negative. I can tell you that.
I mean, look, somebody posted today in one of the posts that I made about it, and said that, you know, it's all these influencers that gave away that secret that this is happening. First of all, if you're an influencer, I don't consider us influencers. I cannot stand that word. I don't think that is what we do at all.
I don't even like to be called a YouTuber. I don't.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. I do what I love. You know, because I have a passion for it. But you know,
you can call me a host, call me a creator. That's fine. I'm not trying to influence anybody other than trying to influence them to have a good time and enjoy Disney because that's what they love. Yep. So they're saying that, you know, influencers are gave away the secrets, and this is what's causing that. You're a terrible influencer if you are trying to get somebody to go park at Disney Springs, spend all of that time to get over to a park, one of the most expensive places in the world. You can't spend the $35 on parking? Come on.
Right.
Come on. You know, or don't stay off property and stay on property, and then that's not a worry.
Also a good point.
There's so many people that stay off property at like a Quality Inn or whatever because they think the hotels are so expensive. Well, stop looking at Grand Floridian and go stay at All Stars. This weekend for my daddy-daughter trip, we're staying at All Stars Movies. Nothing wrong with it.
It's fun.
Great theming.
Nothing wrong with that. I love your All Stars.
Yeah, we're hardly in the resorts anyway.
We're at All Star Sports, and you know we're big football fans. Like I told you, we're big Buffalo Bills fans, and there's that whole area with the big football field, and we would throw the football around, and because they had all the wacky arrows, and my son would like run the route on the arrows. We had a blast. They're still really well themed. You can see Donald and Mickey. Everyone is all over the place. You still feel that's okay. You're the Patriots. They had us this year, but this happens on.
I have
our
a question for them at the end or something.
Well, this happens all the time. Corey, is like something will remind us of the Buffalo Bills or Buffalo Sabres or something, and we get off topic. Like one of the recent episodes, I actually had a question for Nick because I'm not really a baseball guy, so I was asking about what banana ball was and what the Savannah Bananas are. I think we talked about it for like 10 minutes, and at the end I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I realize this is a Disney podcast. We just get off the rails with sports, and we have to grab that wheel and turn right back to where we want to go because we love both.
No, you just tie it back together. Say, well, the Savannah Bananas are now playing at Disney and are now on Disney Plus. Yeah. So there you go.
Exactly.
I'll take it off the rails for a second. Last week, I went to see Cosmic Baseball. You heard of that one?
No.
It's kind of like the Savannah Bananas, but played at night and everything's glow in the dark, neon.
Glow in the dark.
Yeah, really, really cool. So.
Yeah, really cool thing. If there's an alternate way to play baseball, Lawrence finds it. He's just never like, hey, I'm at the,
I went to the home run derby X.
Yeah. Yeah, he went to that too. Like he goes to all this crazy stuff, which is pretty cool.
You know what I think is really cool is this? It's a newfangled thing. It's called actual baseball.
I know. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that.
What's that about?
There's a major league baseball league. Actually.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like these professionals.
It's been around for more than 100 years.
Yes. Oh, Nick is a Mets fan. Look at you.
Look at that.
Yeah, Nick's
let's go Mets.
Yeah. Let's go Mets. I don't know where we're going this year, but let's go.
I mean,
so
the cellar is a place. The cellar is a place.
So Lawrence, to impress our guests, I loaded all the information that we just talked about into the Diz machine, and it tells me if you spend an hour and a half trying to, it's going to cost you $36. It's $18 an hour at the parks based on a $220 ticket at Magic Kingdom for a 12-hour day. So 2 hours missed traveling is $36. That's price
for
of
one
parking.
person. That's single occupancy.
One per person. Yeah. Okay.
So if it's a family of four,
that's right. Let's multiply that by 4. That's gonna give you
and if you're a family of 4, it's one parking.
$188.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, just pay the parking. I don't understand it. there were a lot of other things that came out of this. Like somebody said, well, I'll never be able to go get beignets at French Quarter now. Why not? I've been able to drive my car to go get beignets. I've been able to drive my car to Riverside to go watch Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah, but that's my thing, right? You are at the mercy of the security guy if he wants to let you in. But I think they do base it on occupancy at that time. If you're trying to go get, here's a hot tip, if you're trying to get beignets at 6 o'clock at night when people are starting to return, or 7 o'clock at night when people are returning back to the resort, they may not let you in, or if there's too many reservations.
That's true.
But if you go midday or something like that, I would say more than likely 99% of the time you're going to get in okay.
Yeah.
If you're that desperate for your beignet, can't you walk to Saratoga Springs and then you could go there and get on a French, don't the friendship boats, I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't there boats that go from
yes.
that area?
Yes.
So, but now that's a question. That's a question because
will that
now
be next?
Is that the next step? They haven't said that, but people are like, well, are they going to close off that walkway to Saratoga now and check your ticket and all that kind of stuff? I doubt that. I really doubt that.
The DVC sales team would lose their mind.
That's true.
It'll never happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say never. I would be shocked if that ever happened, because Saratoga is where they host most of their sales stuff. That's where they've got the model rooms a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, right? You can go to Epcot. I don't know why you would ever spend your time in Epcot at that model room in Canada. That was the dumbest situation that DVC took advantage of there. But I can't imagine they would shut that off going from Springs to Saratoga, but maybe.
I had said yesterday that if this happens, I get why it happens, because the alternative is you pay to park at Disney Springs, and people thought I was crazy. Yet happens at Universal Studios. It happens at Downtown Disney in California.
Yeah,
you got to pay.
Those
might be an agreement.
So close to the parks, though, too.
True.
Yeah.
True.
There could be an agreement with the vendors. Like some malls like that, some like I'm thinking like Broadway at the beach over in Myrtle Beach and places like that. Some of those bigger places like that have contracts, have it written in the contract for the people renting the spaces out that they're not going to charge for those things, because if they do, that's a deterrent for customers.
Oh yeah.
And no retailer wants to have a deterrent for people.
Yeah. When I lived in New York, I worked at the mall, Queens Center, right in the middle of Queens, and you have to pay to park there. And so I managed the GameStop, and I would hardly ever get people trading in their games there, because the store down the street had their own parking lot that was free. So of course they're going to go right there and do all their trade-ins there. So yeah, totally get that. If you start messing with, deterring anybody from coming to a retail spot because of cost, that's going to be an issue, Yep. And then I was like, well, what if they were to validate parking? With your meal, you're going to get comped, or I don't know. I just thought there were different ways. So I think this is the first step, and hopefully this is the only step. I don't think it's going to get worse than this, because then people were like, well, they're also going to shut that down from the parks, and they're going to make you check your resort stay to leave the park on a bus. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Do you see the lines for the monorail right now leaving Magic? There's no way they do that on the buses. That's not happening.
No, because that's not what they're trying to stop.
Yeah, that's not what they're trying to stop. It's the crowdedness at the parking decks. I mean, how many times, Corey, do you go on a Saturday to Springs, and the person that's in the car ahead of you, calls or goes in chat and says, hey, Lime is closed, or Orange is full, or whatever the case is. Got to park in surface parking.
Yeah, it can get pretty busy over there. Hot tip though, if it says Orange Garage is closed, still go in there, because you will find 100% a spot.
Yeah. So let's get back to some lists. Now, you mentioned your controversial Pop Century teardown. He's already pulled the permits for it. So Are there any lists where after the show you guys were like, what the heck were you thinking on that one?
I don't know that it was ever after the show. I think it's during the show. We don't pull punches because like
No.
our whole thing is like we each do our individual top 5 and then we don't tell each other what we have, and it's like real time reaction. So like whether that's me saying that I think that you know, I don't know, maybe that Pirates is my favorite ride, and I think that I didn't say this, but let's say that I've said that Haunted Mansion is number 5, and Rob would lose his mind because that's like his favorite. And we're flipped on that. You know, so I don't think we've ever had it where it was after the show. We have definitely had times where we didn't realize it was going to hit a chord with the listeners. Like things blew up, and it was like, I can't believe you said that. That's a horrible idea. Like some of the love, like for pop, or some of the love for, you know, like I hate Navi River Journey. And like people come for me every time I say, like, don't wait for Navi River Journey. It's awful. Like it's a bad ride. It's objectively bad. The queue is bad. Like they have a good animatronic, and that's why people go. And people come for me every single time.
Well, the other thing too is Nick and I agree on a lot, but we also disagree on a lot too. So although he doesn't like Navi River Journey, myself and my family, we love it. We sing along, and like we're really, really into it. So that's part of what's fun about the show is like, sure, we agree on a lot, but then it's arguing, but it's all opinions. So like, you know, Nick and I will both famously be like, nope, you're wrong. You know, like kidding, obviously, but like that's part of the fun of our show. And on another one that I just thought of on another recent show we did, I shared this rumor. Again, I always preface it by saying this is a rumor. There was a rumor that someone was talking about, they were looking at It's a Small World to knock down Small World and make that the entrance for Villains Land.
I heard that.
Again, so we're just reporting this rumor that we heard. We cited our source. I won't get into it now, but we're letting people know this is just something we heard. And like the video blew up, and people are like, Nick, you read all this. There were 2 people fighting in the chat. Remember?
Yeah. And I said, like, I kind of wanted to ban them, but I was like, dude, every time they comment is driving the algorithm. So I'm like,
yeah.
It's like, they're not swearing at each other, and they're not hate speech. So I guess.
That's not going to happen. I
we know.
You know, I just can't see that. But people, they hear something and they just run with. The other thing, listen, if anybody watches my Monterey Report knows that I cannot stand a couple of the sites, and I have no problem naming them. Inside the Magic, they used to be great. They are absolutely horrible now. I believe that they are run by AI. I totally believe there is not a human putting out those stories. They also own How to Disney, Disney Tips, Disney Fanatic, and Disney Dining. Those 5 are terrible. They're just clickbait, and they put out false stories. But because they have such a following, people believe it. And then they share it. And I'm like, dude, none of that's happening. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's another site claiming to know what rides are going into Villains Land. Oh. I would like some of that to be real, but we don't know that it's real yet.
I don't think Disney is positive yet. I think they keep just shifting back and forth. And I don't know if they're floating stuff out there just to hear the reaction of creators like us, to hear what we say. I don't know. We'll see. You know what? Whatever happens. I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm going to embrace it and just be excited to do a new attraction. You know, I loved Tom Sawyer Island. You know, not a lot of people did, but again, I'm one of the guys who did it all through the 80s. I have pictures of me and my cousins running around on Tom Sawyer Island, and they make the announcement that it's gone, and my reaction is, "Oh, that stinks." But what's going there now? You know, that's what Walt said, is it's ever evolving. It's ever growing. So we think, Nick agrees with me, the important thing is that we kind of embrace the change and not be the creator who it's just spewing hate and this is wrong and you can't do this to us. We just got to look at it, give our opinion, evaluate, and move on, and not just be angry and you know, just be negative.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So of those, I almost said E3. I'm going back into my video game days. Of those D23 announcements, what were some of your favorites? What are you most excited for? Talking about Villains Land, Cars Land, Monsters, the coaster. I'll even throw in the Carousel of Progress.
For me, I think the thing I'm most excited for is Monstropolis. I wasn't at the time as excited as I am now, because I immediately thought, how can they make that immersive? Because humans aren't supposed to be in that land. The creativity of Human Day, I think, is brilliant. I thought that was something out of left field I never saw coming. That is just a really, really smart creative play. So that one has risen to the top. I would say that a close second, and probably if you ask Rob, we're flipped on this list, but a close second for me is Villains Land. I think it's needed. I will say I think that Villains Land should be Villains Park, but that's a whole other show. But yeah, I would say those two things are the big ones. So yeah, I think those two.
Rob?
I think the one that is not talked about enough is Indiana Jones, because as a visitor of Disneyland, I just loved that ride, because I like how they it's so crazy to me that Dinosaur was the same as the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland, because if you take the interior, it seems massive on the inside of the ride at Disneyland. And then when you're in Dinosaur, the lights are off the majority of the time and you don't know where you are. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm even more excited knowing that it's going to be a different story and they're going to change it a little bit. I wouldn't say it's my number one. Obviously, we're doing lists here, but I just think that's one that I think needs a little bit more attention and hasn't gotten enough attention. Encanto I saw once, and I didn't have an issue with it at all. I'm just not as familiar with it. But I'm very optimistic that they could come up with something really fun and really crazy for Encanto. Nick was correct. I am most excited for Villains Land. Definitely. I sort of enjoy that side of the world of Disney with the villains and Haunted Mansion, and that's something that's exciting to me. I like hard rock and heavy metal music. It's the music that I've been playing most of my life, so that it appeals to me quite a bit. And then the last one too is just Cars Land, and it's funny because I just mentioned a minute ago that I was sort of upset that Tom Sawyer is gone, but also experiencing that in California Adventure and how amazing it was and how immersive that land was. I would love to see what they're going to end up doing. I'm really hoping that it's not just the Piston Peak and they put in something that's reminiscent of what they have out on the West Coast. I don't know. I'm not positive what they're going to end up doing, but if they could do something similar to Flows or do the Cozy Cone, that was just amazing. I'm assuming both of you have been out there before, maybe not, but just walking through it is like, it's mind-blowing how well they do that part of the park. And it's right next to Marvel, which is kind of boring. There's not really a lot there. It's just a lot of concrete and buildings. Then all of a sudden you're in Cars Land. It's incredible. So that's my 2 cents on those announcements.
So do you think Indy's going to be the sleeper of those announcements?
I do. I think it is now. Not enough people are talking about it. You look at all they will once they start talking more at D23, but you can see how they start to sneak out that information. Like right now it's Monsters Land or Monstropolis, right? They're leaking out all that little info and we're getting really excited about it. And that's where our thoughts are right now. We've been talking about it a lot on the show. I think that same thing is going to happen once they get to start talking about Animal Kingdom, because they want people to go there. We talked about the whole Bluey thing. We can talk about Bluey later. That's a whole topic that we talked about forever on our show. Nick had some words on that too, but they want to bring people back to Animal Kingdom because it's the park that tends to be overlooked. People still say it's a half-day park. We don't feel that. No. We love that park. We love to take our time. Some of our favorite rides are at that park. Expedition Everest is one of the best rides at Disney, period. We love it. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think once Tropical Americas opens, for 2 reasons, that becomes a full day park. Number one, you have so many more attractions that are going to look at Dinosaur and the full Dino Land right? How many people were spending their time over there like they will when Tropical Americas opens up? On top of that, I think it's going to be a beautiful area that's going to look really, really beautiful at night.
Oh, it's going to be great because they're going to extend those hours. Like this is not an if, it's a matter of when. Like I made a comment the other day on the show that we had to do a favorite fix or flatten again, and we talked about like some things, and one of the things was it was whole lands, and I said Pandora is in the wrong park. It needs to move. Or that wasn't a favorite fix or flatten. We did a list. It was on our main show. We did like top 5 things that are in the wrong place.
In the wrong place.
They're in the wrong place. And I said Pandora belongs in Hollywood Studios if for only so I can see the bioluminescence. Because once you get to the part of the year where the sun's up later, you don't get to see it. And I understand the need because of obviously the animals and whatnot. But like, give me that place open later. I predict, I mean, this is just maybe this will probably age poorly. It'll age like milk, but I predict that within the next few months, so I'm thinking probably D23, we're going to find out that they're going to bring back a nighttime show in that amphitheater there. And I think that they're going to announce that Encanto is going to be open, like that whole land is going to be open later along with Pandora. They're probably going to close off part of the park just like they do with, like Epcot for after hours. So
I can see that.
Location wise too, the Tropical Americas is the closest to the parking lot, and I believe it's nowhere near animals, so they don't have to worry about that in that spot. And if you really think about it, I have to look at a map, but Pandora is also near the parking lot. It's on that same side.
Hard left.
Yes, so it's possible that that's far enough away from animals as well. So I agree with that. Nighttime show. You can shut off the rest of the park because it really is predominantly animal stuff anyway. Besides Kali River Rapids at that point and the safari, so you could cut all that part off.
Right at the bridges. Think about it. Wherever there's a bridge, you cut off the bridge.
Yep.
Other than the one going over to Pandora, you close the rest. Back into Pandora that takes you over to Lion King show.
Yeah.
Close right there.
Yep.
And then close over by Pizza Fari, and so on and so forth.
And then close Kali River Rapids forever.
The park is desperate. Yeah. The park is desperate for a nighttime show as well.
100%.
Nothing has been successful there. Like, why can't we get something that works and stays and becomes legend, like Happily Ever After or Illuminations?
Well,
I thought for sure that the drone show was a tester, like the drone show at Springs. I thought for sure was a tester for Animal Kingdom, because how cool would it be to almost look like fireflies taking off from the Tree of Life and like doing all that stuff? Like, I thought for sure that's what that was going to be, and then like it just disappeared. It was like, what happened?
It's the only park where you can do. It's the only park where you can do a drone show, in my opinion, for safety.
Yeah. Yes.
Have any of you ever been to a silent rave? So the point of a silent rave is everybody goes and puts on. I haven't either, but you go and you put on headphones.
I know where you're going.
And everyone is. You see what I'm saying? So the drones are up doing their show. You see Simba, and then people put on their headphones or whatever they have, earbuds, connect it to My Disney Experience, and you can listen or just watch. Both shows are great. But if you want to hear it, you have that option, and you're not disrupting the animals, because obviously that's the point of the park. They're the priority. I don't know, just a thought.
I love that idea.
I said, Disney is listening. I know they are. Because they take your ideas and our ideas. So
yes,
Disney,
they do.
Take it. Send the check to me, please. Or at least to Nick, and he'll give it.
That's a good idea. I thought about the drone show, when they announced it was temporary or limited engagement, or however they said it at Disney Springs. I'm like, oh, they're testing it. You put it where anybody can go see it. You don't have to have a ticket, and you just see the reception of it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Now I think drones have gotten even better since then. Some of these shows I've seen out in Europe are amazing. So, bring it there. They're quiet. They're obviously not like fireworks. Some people are like, they need to put that show at Epcot. No, Epcot needs my fireworks. Don't touch my fireworks at Epcot.
No, it's good. It's good.
But yeah, I think the drones over there would be a great idea. But yeah, Animal Kingdom becomes a full day park at that point. Now it is for me. I'll stay there all day because, like you said, you take your time. Make sure you do the safari. Make sure that you do Gorilla Falls. I've never done Cali River Rapids. It's the only ride in Disney World that I haven't done. The only attraction I've never done.
One time. That's all I needed.
It's just either I go when it's cold, or it's closed when I go, or it's like we're just not. I mean, there's trips where I don't go to Animal Kingdom.
There are better raft rides in local parks around here, so that's why I don't like the same idea. Yeah, I would say I would add on to the things you should do at Animal Kingdom to make it a full day park. Do one of those splurge tours. We did the rhino one. We're doing the Caring for the Giants with the elephants this time. Those ones aren't as expensive. I mean, I'm not talking.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do the other ones too, and we plan on it eventually, but they're not super expensive. It's I want to say $30 or $35. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. That or living with the land and do behind the seeds. Like those tours are a lot of fun. They don't cost a lot of money, but for people who go all the time, that's one of the big tips I give is like spend just a little bit more money and you turn an otherwise uneventful day that's kind of like could have been any year into one that you'll never forget. Have you done like a VIP tour or behind the scenes tour like Kings to the Kingdom or anything? I've not done those ones. The Keys to the Kingdom tour we would like to do when my daughter is not, I think she's not quite old enough. Is that one 13 you have to be, I think? I can't remember.
One Keys was 18.
Oh, I thought that one was 13.
Is it? Yeah,
it could be. It could be. Either way, one of my children is definitely not old enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the VIP, I'll rewind this episode and listen to where Rob and I introduce ourselves as teachers. And so we're not doing the VIP anytime soon. But yeah.
What do you teach?
I teach algebra and AP statistics and AP computer science.
Oh. Rob?
I teach middle school art, which is definitely difficult. And then I teach high school photography and graphic design.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very nice. I was just looking up to see what the age group is. I'll find it. So, are there any upcoming episodes that you're like gearing up for?
Usually we do. It's funny because interesting you asked that because we always have this list of like 5 or 6 or 7 episodes that's coming up. And most recently, Nick and I just sat down and started. Did I really just do 6, 7 again? Dang.
You did.
Not on purpose. So usually we kind of know what's coming on. We're working on a list now, but it reminded me one of our favorite things that we did recently was we did this March Madness. And during the month of March, we had like our listener vote and we had people pick their favorites. But this year, Nick set it up where it was sort of random, where it would be like a restaurant versus a show or an attraction or it was a lot of fun. So the month of March was great because all we had to do is show up. I mean, we enjoy writing and doing our lists and preparing, don't get me wrong, but it was just exciting to tune in because like Nick had all the data. He set it up and he set out all the voting. He knew the answers. So it was very exciting for me to kind of predict what was going to happen. Those were kind of our favorite episodes. So, or at least that was one of my favorites recently. But,
and upcoming, we have some cool ideas. Yeah, upcoming, we have some cool things too. Like we're going to be doing one about attractions that are better at night, ride vehicles. Like, what are our top 5 favorite ride vehicles? Just random stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think we've done that one.
No, and then we've got a few that we're going to revisit about animatronics. And the deluxe resorts, deluxe resort perks. So, like, why would you want to stay? What are the top 5 reasons that you'd want to stay deluxe? Myself, because I'm a DVC owner, I'm always staying deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not because I'm affording those deluxe things. I mean, I did the math and it's way cheaper just to do it this way to own DVC. But like, so those are some of the things we're really excited for. We're also excited because we're going to be having some guests and stuff. So, the summer is going to be, it's when we can put a lot more time into being our creative selves because we aren't working a typical, full-time day.
It's 16 years. I just looked it up. Thank you, Melissa. 16 years for Keys to the Kingdom.
Okay.
So, do you do stuff like Corey and I are going to do this the week before the D23 announcements? Because we think we're going to hear a lot of details, right? We should get opening dates, the Disney opening dates coming 2027. Maybe they'll say late 2027. I don't think you're getting anything more than that, honestly. But I think you're going to get some details on rides, ride names, ride vehicles, that type of stuff. I think we're going to get. So do you play Imagineers on your show and kind of come up with some of those ideas?
We definitely do. Yeah. Sometimes we do, like around D23, we will definitely do a, top 5 things that we want to hear at D23, and then we'll do a top 5 things we think we'll hear, because what we want to hear and what we think we'll hear are usually 2 different things. And then we usually have a reaction show afterward. Our Patreon is usually where most of our Imagineering type stuff lives, just because it can be free from the list format that we've built. But that's not always the case. Sometimes that leaks into our main show as well. So we definitely do some Imagineering stuff.
We used to do a thing where we would just pick a ride for our Patreon, and Nick and I separately would retheme it to something totally different. Very rarely would it be the same, but most of the time it's really different, and we share back and forth what we would do. So like, for example, Jungle Cruise. Okay, Jungle Cruise stays the same, but you have to retheme it to something else. What's it going to be? So we know that in advance. So we'll sort of prepare, and we'll say what our idea is. Okay, Jungle Cruise, we're going to retheme it to Jungle Book. Okay, and then we put all the Jungle Book animatronics along the way. Okay, just using that as an example. And then Nick would come up with something totally different. And I think stuff like that makes it fun for our patrons and the people that are supporting us and giving hard-earned money to us for this extra bonus show. We try to really put a lot into it and make it important and let them know that we really care and we're putting an effort into our listeners. So
love it. If you are watching in the chat, I just dropped the link for our guest show. Make sure to go and check them out.
Thank you.
They do a great job. When do you release new shows? Are you scheduled a certain day of the week or?
Yep. So we release our episodes on Wednesday. So usually midnight is when they're technically released, but when they populate is, depends on the RSS feeds and stuff like that. But usually when everybody wakes up in the morning for their morning commute, they're able to listen to the show Wednesday morning.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, and that's released on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
So we had the recent news about COP. What did you guys think of that news about the decades going away? Because I'll tell you, I thought they were introducing Walt, or they told us Walt was coming and he was going to introduce the show. And I said, okay, well, they're going to change the last section because, that's the future of the 80s. But I did not think everything else was going to change. So what do you guys think?
You want to tackle this, Rob?
Go? Yeah, I got it. So
first.
This is one of my favorites. And Nick's first time experiencing this was with me. And when we went in, I turned to him and I go, hey, we're going to clap and we're going to sing. And he looks at me like I'm nuts. So now he does the same thing, great, big, beautiful tomorrow. I'll get to my point here, I promise. When you get to that final scene, for a long time, maybe as of about 5 years ago, it was still, kind of funny and kitschy. Now it's to the point where it's kind of sad and it's really dated. I'm fine with all the beginning scenes because that stuff's interesting to me, and I wasn't alive for most of it. So that to me is really cool and really interesting. But hearing what they were going to do, and I got to sort of remember, I think one was one moon landing. One was going to be 80s Halloween. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. Tell me, you speak up. One of them was 90 or 1999 into
Y2K.
2000.
Yeah, Y2K.
Yeah,
Y2K.
Yep.
And I think, what was the last one? What did I miss?
Mars,
The
living
new
on Mars,
future.
yeah.
Okay. Because one is Walt, right? One,
Yep.
So that would be...
Which technically is
Walt where the
not one.
curtain is?
Which technically is not one. Like, I just don't. I want to make sure you're not mistaking that for he's going to take up room number 1. He is actually going to be where the cogwheel is now.
The introduction.
He's going to introduce
curtain.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk in, he will be on stage speaking.
I imagine the curtain will open and that'll start. Yeah.
To answer your question, I just said a lot and didn't actually answer it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, and I'm hoping that they're going to keep the same characters. And I realize that the mother, whose name I usually have on tap, I don't currently, but she is going to lead one of
Sarah.
Is it?
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah.
But she is going to lead one of the decades, and I think that's great too that they're switching that up. I hope they keep Orville. I think that would be they need to mention the different characters' names. I think it'll be fine, and the people like us that are used to it for so many years, as long as they throw those things in there, I think the fans like us will feel good. Okay, Orville's there. I don't know. I just love how Orville's yelling from the bathroom in the tub or whatever.
Well, I think
Disney, right? Disney will always throw something in. So the fun thing is, what things do you think that you will find that are reminiscent
top
to
5
currently?
There's an episode.
There's a Diz list.
There
The
you
5
go.
things you might think will be there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like my biggest question of the whole revamp: the little girl in the first section.
Who disappears.
Is she going to make an appearance, or is she going to totally disappear from now on? Because nobody knows what happened to her. So, is she totally gone now? Did we see her as a teenager and finally, untold story?
If you were like me, you played a lot of Oregon Trail in school. I have my theory that there's a tombstone out in the front of the house is died of cholera or I
thought you were gonna say dysentery.
Dysentery, yeah.
Dysentery. Listen, just to piggyback a little bit off of Rob, and this is going to sound like it's completely different from the question, but I promise you it's not. One of the pieces of advice I give to juniors and seniors who are going off to college visits, when they come back and they say, I didn't really like that college, there's a lot of construction going on. I said, you're going to want to pick the college that has construction going on, because if they don't have construction going on, it means they don't care. And they're going to let things go until it gets too bad. And so I think this is a good thing. I really think this is a sign that Disney recognizes that we are currently living with Tomorrowland that is actually yesterday land. And so they're trying to bring things back. I think that this is another sign, along with Space Ranger Spin being updated and bringing in Tron. I think that the next after this might be, hey, we're going to try to update Space Mountain so you don't need a chiropractor when you get off. All these things I'm pretty sure are signs to them recognizing that Tomorrowland is not very tomorrow-like. And so I think we're going to, it's getting a revamp, a slow, very quiet revamp, but that's what's happening here. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, they even changed the front by the bridge. Yep. So I think you're right. I think we're going to hear some D23 Blue Sky stuff. That's my theory. Probably about Space Mountain, the long forgotten Stitch's Great Escape building. Hello, what are we doing with that? Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I did this one time. I think I was with you, Corey, when I proposed this. I said, you get a brand new Tomorrowland, right? You get an updated Buzz. At the time, we didn't know about the Buzz update. And Corey was just a huge fan of the original Buzz Lightyear. We have the empty Stitch's Great Escape. You have Space Mountain, which needed something. I said, what if you get all of that, but you lose People Mover?
Oh, my God. I would come for you.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like taking down Pop Century, apparently. Yeah. But, go ahead.
Well, I was going to take it one further. We've said on our last episode, we think it's a possibility that Laugh Floor may move. And if Laugh Floor moves over to Monstropolis, there's another vacant building across from Stitch's Great Escape. So There's
Yeah.
a lot of
I think
vacancy.
I think you're right. I think it's going to move over there. I remember when they first announced Monsters Inc. Land or Monstropolis. We'll get a name for that finally. And I thought it was going to go to Launch Bay. I was like, great, perfect. And then they told me it was taking over my Muppets area, and I was devastated. But I think what we're going to get is going to be pretty good. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I still think when Villains Land opens, Villains and Happily Ever After moves over, and we get something Muppets.
That's
there.
possible.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a revamped version of Muppets 3D kind of going in there. I think.
That's what I think. I'm
So
totally
ready for
convinced
it.
on that. And of course, I always take, I've been pounding for a revamp of Tomorrowland since before the last D23. And I also think you obviously take the Speedway with it.
Yes, agree.
I forgot about that one. That was the first one I told you. I was like, you get rid of Speedway, you update that, and that's what started the whole thing. I forgot about it.
Yeah. You don't just update it. It's gone. It's gone. and lately in the
That's
last
a flatten.
few trips,
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's a
I've been
flatten.
jamming.
Every time it
That's a
shows up,
flatten.
it's a flatten.
Yeah.
That's a stomp and twist.
Yeah.
And I've looked at,
Stomp and twist.
Cockroach style.
That's so good. I'm using that. The stomp and twist.
You can use it. You can use it. And I've even
love
looked at
that.
it from above, from the people mover, just really analyzing that Speedway area for the size. And I swear to God, my son is going to be an Imagineer someday. He studies the maps all the time and everything. And he doesn't think it's big enough for I said, you could fit a Guardians there or something. He's like, nope, not big enough. But you could put maybe an outdoor coaster or a different attraction. And I like to take it further. Let's wipe out the circus area, please. We can make Tomorrowland even bigger. Or you can take some of that for Tomorrowland and do something cool for Fantasyland as well. That needs to go, and it's right near it. Tomorrowland has a lot of promise, and I do think we'll see some blue sky stuff this year.
We've said Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph breaks the internet. Ralph breaks the internet car, kind of because it fits with Vanellope von Schweetz. Do something like that, and you could even, if you said, "Well, that's not Tomorrowland enough," you could easily change the entrance to that so that it is closer to Fantasyland, and in that Storybook Circus, so that maybe Vanellope is more of the focus instead of Wreck-It Ralph being a video game. But come on, you can make an 8-bit sort of a thing going on in there. And call that the Tomorrowland or whatever. But it's got to go. I mean, we're talking about burning fossil fuels at a rate that I don't even want to know. It is I get a headache on People Mover going by it. I don't know how the cast members do it.
I can't imagine the cast members that are in Tomorrowland. In Speedway. There's no way.
Yeah.
That just would drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm going to ask this question.
No. Let me react to our audience here. Goofy Guy says Speedway will be fine if they switch to electric cars. That is not even the subject. That's one of the worst. Now that Buzz is better, I think Speedway's the worst attraction in Walt Disney World. Hot take.
Whoa.
Now I ride it. It might not be. I ride it as a filler, but it has no place there. Did it ever have a place there? I don't even know if it's ever had a place.
I disagree. And this is why I disagree, because across that same park, there is a queue to nowhere. It is a literal queue to queue. And that is the Swiss Family Treehouse. That is a queue to nowhere. That is the worst attraction in Walt Disney World. Full stop.
I think the only reason they're not going to do anything with that is because of it doesn't take up much room. If it had a bigger footprint, I think we would have seen that go a long time ago. I mean, when is that more than 5 minutes? It's never. It's always zero. It's always zero.
But there's never many people in it either.
No.
Yeah.
No. You get people to go up to look at the fireworks.
We need more walkthrough attractions.
Yeah.
I think Moana is actually a brilliant attraction, personally. But,
yeah.
And it gets forgotten. Why? Why is it the location of it? I said this one time. My son and I were walking by it, and we were just talking about why has this kind of fallen by the wayside. I just don't think it's talked about. I don't think creators go in there very much. We'll go in there maybe once every several months. I think if you would have made the entrance on the other side where there's more traffic, you might have had more people going in there. It's not even on the app.
Yeah.
So it's easily forgotten. When you flip through the My Disney Experience, it's not even there.
Well, I'll throw in the fact that we're American, and like that's a big part of it too. When you go to the European parks, like Paris has a bunch of walkthrough stuff that we would never have here because people just want to be wowed. They want to know what the newest ride is. They want to be thrilled, and that's not an insult. Like I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not proud of, like that's not what I'm saying. It's just culturally, I don't think we want to slow down and like these things. It's the same reason the Gorilla Falls isn't packed all the time. Maharaja Jungle Trek. It's the same reason for those walkthroughs that they're not necessarily as popular as they could be or should be, is because it's just not our culture.
So the Minions walkthrough ride that's here in Universal would actually do well over there. Is that what you're saying? See, Corey, it's in the wrong park.
Listen, that is the worst ride in Universal Studios. Although you do have Fast and the Furious. So, I don't know. I'd rather ride the party bus than do that shooting. The Comic-Con
I've done each of those
is
once.
Not great. Yeah,
I've only done
not
each
great.
of those once.
Bring back Shrek 4D is what I say.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. There's an example, right, of losing a great attraction to a much lesser one.
Well, I'm a fan of the old school Universal. I used to go right when it first opened, and I miss Jaws. I miss Back to the Future. But I mean, the rumor is Back to the Future is a maybe coming back after the license is gone for Simpsons. We'll see. But boy, Jaws, that was incredible.
Ride the
So
ride,
I ask you
right?
this question. I ask you this question about Jaws because we just talked about this. We were over there a couple weeks ago, and they now just took Burger Digs, which is a burger joint across the street from kind of where Jaws used to be. And now they've taken that restaurant and they've themed it to Jaws, which I love.
Really?
Yeah. Knowing what was okay, so we lost Jaws due to Harry Potter. Knowing what you see now with Diagon Alley and all that, if you had the chance to snap your fingers and bring Jaws back and wipe out Harry Potter, would you do it?
Oh boy, I'll have a different answer than Nick. I'd say yes, but I'm not anti Harry Potter. Okay, I'll go on record. I've seen the movies; they're fine. I just don't love them like I love Star Wars and other franchises. The Jaws ride. See, now I'm talking myself out of it because I've done Gringotts. Okay, Gringotts is an incredible ride, right?
I think it's the best
love
ride in
doing that
Universal
one.
Studios.
I think you're right, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's the area where Jaws used to be.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm changing my mind. If I have to do one or the other, I prefer the Jaws franchise, but I prefer that Gringotts ride. So I'm changing my mind, and I'm going to say Harry Potter and Gringotts. That ride's incredible.
Yeah. You didn't see me wave my hand and do the Jedi mind trick, but that's what just happened there.
Yeah, you changed him. You're powerful. This guy knows things.
He got me. I convinced myself.
He started to say something, and I was like, no, you will not get rid of Harry Potter for Jaws.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
This is not the animatronic shark you want.
This has been a lot of fun. Gentlemen, we need to have you back on the show. Maybe around D23. We'll
Agreed.
Have you back on. We'll chat about all the new stuff that's been announced, something like that.
Someone said agree in the chat. I like them. The chat people like us. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. So again, where can we find your show? It's the Diz List. Or where can we find your show?
So if you go to Instagram, we're at DizListPod. If TikTok is at DizListPod, pretty much any social media is at DizListPod. As far as finding us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of the places where you listen to your podcast, we are the DizList Podcast. You can go to YouTube or youtube.com/DizListPod over there. So there's lots of different places. You can go to our Patreon if you wanted to follow us there. We do have a free membership level there, and you get you still have the podcast right there. So if you're on Patreon, that might be a good place to, follow us over there too. That's DizListPod over there. So
awesome. So as Corey mentioned, we're going to have some dates in July that will probably be off. Obviously, we're off next week. I do have a date in July that we will need to schedule because, Corey, do you remember 2 years ago we had Eula Toka on talking about her family, Leah Chase.
We have her back?
who was the inspiration for Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
Well, I haven't scheduled her yet, but I have scheduled Princess Tiana.
What?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that, please.
How did you not lead with that? Hold on. Lawrence, you're holding out on us.
So this is what you do. You just scour the internet and you find a Miss Dominique Mickens, who was a cast member and was Princess Tiana.
Friends with Tiana.
In Disney. So she will be joining us for an episode in July to talk about her time at Disney.
Love that.
So, and yes, I'm still working on Eulatoka and lots of other guests. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, August is going to be great. We're going to talk about D23, and we will certainly talk to Nick and Rob about coming back on the show for that. I am going to send you over now to Pete McDevitt, who should be ending his show, I believe, and then sending you over to a special episode for Lily's Life. So we're going to do some redirecting double work there. So
nice. Yeah, everybody that goes over to Pete, tell him that you're all big Patriots fans, even if you're not. Pete is a Ravens fan, so he gives me a hard time. So there's that.
He's the guy in the intro. I remember seeing that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
He says he's rooting against the Patriots, and he says, "Go Raven." He doesn't say
He
Ravens.
does.
He says Raven.
Go Raven
just one.
out.
He's only hoping for one Raven.
Just one. Yeah.
Just one. So thank you both for joining us. I appreciate you coming on and sharing
here.
this time with us for sure.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right. Until then, everyone, tomorrow night we are live at Magic Kingdom. We'll take what the park gives us. We'll have we'll have 2 starlights, and they're running the same special. You get 2 starlights, you get a happily ever after free. So we'll be throwing that in as well. And for now, we're just a couple of bros talking Disney.
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.